And there we are. Well, how about that? That show was a kick in the balls, huh?
It's
Fuck
awesome.
yeah. I'm loving it, loving it. So before we get into it, like I always do, we're gonna go and do our housekeeping at the top. Um, Tomorrow is a really special day for the Wook Plus community because we're on before and after the show. You get twice as much of us.
It's like a Wook Plus sandwich.
The sandwich,
A
and
Wook Plus
beforehand
fish sandwich.
we're gonna have Leslie Mack from Blackberry Pod One and Stub Me Down and Anderson Skinny from Stub Me Down Pod One, and we're gonna go live at 5:55. Probably run till 7:15 so we can get some info from those guys about what they do and talk our fish like we like to. Then for the Afterfish after show, we're going to have Pixel Wooks and Andy Michael from Jump Radio back on. So that's going to be interesting. And that's, as always, 15 minutes after the encore. And then our last piece of business is Helping Friendly Pod, who we partner with this summer. They go live every day, 1 o'clock after a show. So tomorrow morning when you wake up,
you've been watching a lot of their program. I can tell because the way Brian does his reads is rubbing off on you.
There he is. Yes, I have.
You're getting a little bit of that I love Osiris HF polish.
They're much better than I am with putting comments up. I'll tell you that much. So tomorrow they have Matt Figgins. Matt, see, you put that up right when I said it. Matt Higgins on, and he's going to be on every day. Check them out. They're on OsirisPod.com. It's probably like a half hour after the live broadcast on their YouTube channel. And with that, we're going to go with Out to start the show, which I'm a fan of. I like the curtain. I do not like the extra part of it because they took that part and made it into Rift, which is a great song, so we don't need to do a slowed down version.
I'm going to throw it to for the width.
I'm going to throw it to Scott to open us off because I know he thinks I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want the curtain to last longer is my biggest problem with your take. It's
plotting. I don't like the plotting.
Such a short song without it. It's a big part that's missing, the width. And now it seems like we've gone backwards and we're going to be stuck in curtain width and Axilla 2 land. So there's no more Axilla 1 and no more curtain width. And it's like we reverted backwards and
we're without.
So,
what you got for me, Anderson?
I'm a little biased. I honestly will say I prefer the width, also because I did not know that width became Rift. I actually did not know that. I found that out very recently. But I really like width, and I remember when I heard it today, it seemed slow, and I was like, why is it slow? What's going on? I never heard it without width, so I'm gonna say I'm with.
You know, I was the first time they played the slow Rift, I was in the alley next to the club smoking a joint because we rolled out there in Satin Doll because we were like, what is this? They aren't rocking now. They're playing some jazz.
That's kind of badass, Kev. That way before people hated on Slow Maze, you were hating on Slow Rift. You're like, fuck you guys.
So that was
you're the original
hater. That was the first the curtain opener, without since November 97, like Worcester.
Oh,
wow.
I was there for the last time it was played. So, but yeah. I don't know. I like the curtain opener with or without, but I prefer it with. But that didn't happen. So,
but they without it right into Santos,
which is interesting for Santos and the 2-hole.
Yeah, that's the set closer. That's the big arena rock number now, and there it was. Where are you at? Where are you at on that, Anderson?
I've heard Santos so many times. Okay, so this might become a pattern at this point. The fish songs that I tend to not like are ones that I've heard so often that I'm just sick of them. And it could be ones that I like, that I really do like. So Santos being one of them, I sing the lyrics along to it, things like that. But if I hear it so many times, I just complain.
I get that completely. That happened to me with Numberline. I got
Mhm.
Numberline like every show
I got beaten
forever.
down.
Yeah, I got like
Yeah.
30 Numberlines in my first 30 shows or something. Like it was like
Yeah.
so like I hated that. I still don't like it, and I don't, it's just, I get that completely. Actually, to that idea too of things repeating, I feel like I knew it wasn't going to be a no repeat tour because they repeated a bunch of stuff over the last few days, but now it feels almost like we can clearly see the rotation because Santos, they played in Mansfield, and we're going to get to it later, but the Maze and the Hood and the Chalk Dust, and like now the majority of the sets are rotation, and I don't know, it just feels like they jumped into repeats.
You've dove into this a little, Tim. Let me ask you this. What's going to happen at Merriweather? What do you see as the highest odds of popping up there if we're repeating?
If they keep this this pattern, I think we might get like an Axla 2. I don't know. Like that was only in Bangor,
does the Tweezer show up again at Merriweather, or does it show up tomorrow or at North Carolina?
I think it could show up by the end of Merriweather with another Jones Beach and Raleigh out of the way. Yeah, I think Tweezer's 100% on the table in Merriweather. That's a weird segment to jump into, predicting shows from this weekend when we have like.
But I'm obsessed because it's all we've talked about for like hours on Twitter.
No, I know. We're excited because we're going.
All right, so let me throw the next song to you, because if you go over to wookplus.com/merch, there is a Stealing Time from the Faulty Plane shirt, and it has Miss Manners from Loki, and I thought it was fantastic. What do you think, Tim?
I'm really excited about this jam. It was not a super long jam. I think it clocked in just at 10 minutes, but it was the first thing in the night that was like really beautiful and had that. There's like a chill vibe tonight with all these jams. Like it's like almost like everything's a little slower, but also really beautiful. And the first indications of that tonight for me was in this Stealing Time jam. So I don't know. I love that song, but I think this one in particular was really good.
I agree.
Where you at? Well,
excellent. I thought it was very well played. I liked it in the 3-hole. I liked what they did with it.
How were you on the transition?
In or out? Like out of Santos?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, out of
Stealing Time. Yeah, it was.
It sounded like they could have rocked. They could have.
Yeah, it was a little.
Right, they could have gone longer, and then Trey was just like, "Fuck it, I'm dropping into it."
They definitely could have gone longer. That jam was definitely going somewhere.
Yeah, it had legs. I don't know.
Kev, you're hosting still.
I know, and I was hoping that somebody was going to jump in. I was giving I read this thing where it said that if you just shut up, the guest will speak because they'll get uncomfortable eventually.
I was tempted.
The NICU wasn't much to talk about. I mean, it just kind of breezed in. But the Roger, I mean, I really liked. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I thought it was a nice float. I think it was, Andrew or Hank on Twitter that said, like, I'm literally here, like, floating to this Roger in the wind, and like, I don't know. It looked
always been
like
one of my
favorites. Perfect setting for that type of song. But
the first 4 lines, the way each of them sing it, is so cool.
Did you notice Fish stopped playing while he was singing? I don't think he typically does that. Like, I think he usually keeps it through, and he just got off. I mean, and I'm not even gonna like shout out like, "Oh, flub" or whatever. I can't believe he did that because I couldn't do anything that Fish does. Like, I can't even comprehend what he does. But it was weird. I couldn't that he had to stop playing while he was singing.
I couldn't wipe the tip of his drumstick.
I mean, I can identify his Gretsch by the lugs, but that's about as far as I can go.
But there it is. Are you a Roger fan, Anderson?
First of all, I grew up thinking it was Rogue, so I don't know how the heck to pronounce it at this point.
I could be wrong. I don't think because I said it one way that it's right. I don't know.
I'm probably saying it wrong. Trust me.
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
No.
It's one of my dad's favorites, so of course he, gets. I watched it with my dad, so we kind of got to work on each other's reactions. As soon as he heard Rogue, it was like, yeah, this is my show.
Nice.
It's not one of those songs that I've heard too much, but it's starting to get to that point. I really like it though. I really liked that version.
I have
It
to
was
say
good.
that take about the name, how you pronounce the song not mattering, was probably the best take of a Fish fan I've ever heard. Right? Because I feel like we could argue how to pronounce something for an hour, and then Anderson's just
That's
like,
all
it
right.
doesn't actually matter. And we're all like,
No, it
oh,
doesn't.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Until
Right?
quarantine, I thought it was Guy Forgot. So
All right, that one actually I think does matter.
Yeah, that's a little different.
I didn't realize till there was an OMP we did that you can check out on our
All right,
YouTube
we got to
channel.
stay focused
All
because
right,
what came up next was it was the best bust out so far. I'm so excited, pumped for this Pebbles and Marbles, and this isn't even the best part of the end of the set, but it's where things start to really get exciting. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Pebbles is great. I'm a little disappointed knowing that's off the table now for MPP. And this is what starts to happen streaming the shows, you know, as you're going over the weekend and you're watching the shows during the week. You're just, with every song
You're taking
played,
things
like,
off the board. You're
Yeah.
pulling them off.
but, you know, I thought it was good. It was very well played. I liked it.
Yeah, I think so. Throughout the start of this show, I was getting a little disappointed, I think. But when I heard the Pebbles, I was immediately kind of taken onto a whole other level. I did not expect to hear that. I didn't think they still played it. Really
Not
good.
often. They did a big one on Fall Tour. It had an extra mustard in the jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Really good version. I don't know how much to say about it.
And
Fair.
and then we end up in the meat of the set for me, the last three tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they all went into each other, but the bathtub gin got a little dirty, little olive juice in there. Where were you on that, Scott?
I thought Jin went to a nice place. It didn't go too long, but where it went was good. I think they made the most of it.
It was the longest song of the set.
Yeah,
I thought it was fire. I loved it.
It was good. It was real good. I'm not
I mean-
saying anything bad about it. But then you know, you get out of Jin, which was, again, a well played version. I just don't think it's, you know, one of the best versions. I mean, there's too many versions of that song that have ever been played.
I like gin best when it comes, it floats in out of something, as
Mhm.
opposed to starting cold.
Okay.
I don't think that matters, but
It matters to me.
Is that the catchphrase of the day?
It's
and then
fun.
Maze was good though. I mean,
Maze was
I
good.
thought Maze was good. I thought Jin was good. Maze got a little choppy there towards the jam part of it, but or like on the bring back, I should say.
But it was like another super energetic maze, which is similar to
Yeah.
the Mansfield maze. Ever since Deer Creek and like all the slow shit, I feel like they had put a little extra giddy up in their
How many
mazes.
shows since Mansfield?
7.
So every
Great.
7 shows were, so because you mentioned Mansfield about another song earlier.
Yeah, well, that's like the Santos and Maze and Hood, and there's a bunch of these songs that they played tonight and
that are
last night.
popping back up.
Yeah.
And then we got Coil, which I guess is obvious. Where are you on that, Anderson?
I love Coil so much. I'm a page girl. I will say I was really excited when I called this one. I don't know.
It's a great
Really
call.
good version.
Yeah, it's always good when they walk it off. I mean,
Mhm.
at the end of a show, the end of a set, whatever.
I think that's 90% of the
off.
time, isn't it, though?
I
Yeah.
feel like the last one that was played wasn't. I don't remember where it was, but
I'm so used to seeing it as an encore that when I see it anywhere else, it seems weird to me.
as long as
I
somebody
love it
walks
as a
off the
set
stage,
closer, though.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
But I thought it was a very good set overall. Like a really,
Mhm.
really good first set. Not quite maybe Bethel 1, but up there.
No, it wasn't
Maybe
Bethel.
right there.
I would love if they took Squirming Coil, everybody walked off, let Paige do his thing, and Paige picked a song, and they came back out and played whatever song he picked.
No,
The
best transition would be into Walls of the Cave, because
Oh,
that way you could fake out the end of the set and then come in with an even more fun way to end the set. And it starts with the piano solo, so you could do that and then get boom, boom.
You know what song I hear him doing is Lamb Lies Down on Broadway out of that with the piano, the
There was
tinkling in the
something
beginning.
he's in there. I don't know what he was trying to play in there, but there were definitely some hints of something in there. Maybe some Allman Brothers even. I don't know what it was.
There was. So are we going to run the ad, Tim?
No, I didn't fix that. I think we
You
can
didn't
just
fix it. All right. So
do the read again.
All right, we're gonna do a read again. Helping Friendly Pod. You got to go check them out. Megan, Brian, Jonathan. They've all been nice enough to come
Sometimes
on.
RJ.
Or coming on. Sometimes RJ, but he usually pops in and makes sure we know he's there. And then he
I
lets
love
us
those
go.
guys, though. It's really been great partnering with them, and they do the similar thing 1 o'clock after the show. So.
Matt Higgins will be on tomorrow. He is not on Twitter, according to Brian, but good guy. I don't know the backstory. I didn't ask.
All right, I think we could jump into the second set.
No, this is how I've been doing it. Let me do my thing. And then tomorrow we have the lot beforehand. Check it out, 5:55. All right, so I Never Needed You Like This Before was
Smoker.
wow.
Holy shit.
Somebody go ahead, jump in. Tell us about it.
You know what's amazing about this song? It literally could be the most just you could throw it anywhere song in the whole repertoire now. Like that's what it's become. It can close a set, it can open a set, it could be fucking second song.
I don't know about popping it in the middle of a set.
I don't think it's ever been played in a bad spot, and I feel like they throw it all over. But this thing took the fuck off and launched into the portal opening business, and it was fucking serious.
It seems like they're taking the songs you don't expect this tour and saying, all right, well, we're going to do that one because...
Speaking of, if I can't, I mean, the Leaves?
Well,
yes, Scott. He wants to talk about
two together.
Meat on the bones still
are
there.
So magical together, though. That 1-2 combo in the second set of I Never Needed You and Leaves was
kind of like a wave of hope. And
I feel like
Leaves is a ballad that took off, though, which is the very interesting part about it.
I feel like they sang Leaves in the middle of the same jam. They stopped doing the jam they were doing in Never Needed You.
I mean, they played Leaves. Don't be crazy.
Yeah, I think that was definitely Leaves. I mean, that's
no, I'm saying no. I know they played it, but the jam out of it remind you I could piece that together. If you give me those two pieces of tape, I could splice them together and cut Leaves out, and it would be a seamless piece of music.
Yeah, I think both of these songs needed to be taken out for a walk, as they say. And I am not a huge Never Needed You Like This Before fan, actually. I love what they did tonight, but up to this point, they haven't done that at all. And the same thing with Leaves. I do like Leaves. I think it's beautiful, but both of these songs, I think, are, what do you call it? Rising in the stock. Their stock value is rising from tonight.
Not Leaves. Come on.
You don't like Leaves?
I don't like the lyric. No, I don't like the lyric.
They were both Sonic versions.
Okay.
Is this because Tom Marshall didn't recognize you?
No, go ahead, Anderson. Go ahead.
Well, okay. I think I also might. It might also be biased. All right. Maybe this is one of my takes. All right. So with the first one, with Never Needed You Like This Before, did not know that was a Trey tune. I thought that was new last year during summer tour, like when they opened the whole tour for it. I thought it was some dumb, like, new Trey thing where it was like, oh, it's supposed to be sappy or whatever Trey's doing lately. But this time, I don't know what the heck they did. Like, I did not expect what they played. And then Leaves, I've also never heard jammed. So to hear those both jammed that I'd never heard jammed before, that was surreal.
It was a
Made me
solid
like Leaves
35
more.
minutes.
Mhm.
Solid 35 minutes.
I think it made me like Weebs more, strictly because I did not realize it could be a jam vehicle.
No, let me ask you this. Let me ask you all three of you this. The jam out of Leaves, could that not have been tacked onto any song? Do you think it was organic and specific to Leaves, or it was something that could have been played on Lifeboy or any other song that was slower there?
I don't think I could hear what just happened coming out of a song like Lifeboy, if that's the
Yeah.
example you're going to give me.
Well,
I would say,
okay,
no, it would
maybe
be
that
more
was it.
organic in that sense then.
right.
But I mean, I guess I get where you're coming at from it being taped on from the end of the Never Needed You Like This Before jam and then just placed at the end of Leaves. But there's some differences in there for sure. They weren't the same jam.
And it was much happier tonight. The Hartford show seemed dark. That wave of hope.
Have you ever been to Hartford? Yeah, Warren's so dark.
And the song I heard an Ocean sing, that whole block was very dark.
Mhm.
Tonight it seemed like the Never Needed You and Leaves were very Bliss Jam. I don't know
Well,
if I want to go to Bliss
Yeah, well, they had a
Jam,
very
but
peaceful, relaxed feel to them. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier
Right.
too. But the whole show had that energy level, I think, and this
You
set
could
'em
probably
up well.
throw Everything's Right in there to compare the
Which
comedy. to
they
Hartford.
exactly did.
Yeah. No, they exactly. They actually.
I liked it when it was more compact. It was only 10 minutes. It worked
Yeah.
better for me.
So, Kev, what are you saying? You're not big on this run of songs at the top of the second set. You don't think it was done?
I
well,
like
or-
I loved the first song. I feel like Leaves was thrown in there, but maybe I Never Needed You could have been 27 minutes long.
See, I normally would agree with what you're saying, but I couldn't agree less with you for this one. I think jamming out Leaves in that spot and the mental.
Everybody likes it.
No, it's not that everybody likes it. It's that going into a traditional, more ballad type piece for the second song and thinking that it's like, oh, I just ripcord and killed this jam, and
Right.
then we're gonna have to start over, and then going back into a really dope jam that was heavily influenced from the song before is a unique conversation that the band was having with us that they hadn't had. Right, like it was a new iteration, and I think every vehicle sets the jams up in a different manner and creates new opportunities. And it's not that you couldn't have that same jam out of a different song, but there were influences and things that were,
This goes back to my thesis, though, that they've rehearsed certain things and they have certain
No, they've
jams
jammed in
that
the past and they have jam recall. Like, honestly, like I'm not like that's how it happens is they're jamming on something else. They have a lick or an idea. They all
Right.
hit it, and then they're like, okay, that's now in their memory. They don't even say it out loud, I don't think, right? Like, this is speculation, but I think it's just they have that. So next time they do a similar thing, they can all. It's just like having a conversation, right? Like you and I.
Right.
I've talked to you so many damn times. I kind of know how
what
you're
I'm
going to
say, right? You know
right.
where
Even
I'm
though
gonna
we
go
didn't
with
rehearse
something,
what you're
right?
going to say, I just kind of know because we talk to each other a lot.
Right.
Are we
Okay,
talking
wait.
about the show or how much you guys talk to each other? I mean,
Well, so
This is what we
would you-
do, Scott.
fucking, what is going on right now?
What
But
you got,
would
Anderson?
what would you guys do if it was a song that y'all didn't like? Like for Kevin, it's Leaves. For me, I don't know what it would have been, but
You made a comment about some song,
Santos.
Santos. I guess that. Well, I mean, they already played Santos, but like,
Right.
no one apparently likes Access Me. What if Access Me was thrown in there?
Oh,
Throw that in there.
I want to start a
Throw it right
website
in.
called Access Me for Fishheads Dating.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I actually like Access Me.
No, I did too.
I just know a lot of people who don't.
Well, Anderson, I think we've actually had a couple of examples of this with like Soul Planet and Set Your Soul Free. And there's a lot of songs that are not like overwhelmingly popular at first, but then Ruby Waves, but they turn into such good jam vehicles or have had such good jams come out of them that now it was like, oh, of course I love those songs. But
Well,
like,
that's what Wave of Hope has become now.
then that's Wave
Yeah.
of Hope is the most recent. I
Yeah.
mean, shit, after yesterday. Or
I would
Sunday
jump
or
into
whatever.
bed with Wave of Hope any day of the week. That's a good one. But a Soul
So-
Planet, that like kind of at the man when they went into Soul Planet, I was like, you should have done that AC/DC for 20 minutes.
You did say that exact same
That's
thing.
not the 51-minute Soul Planet, is it? Am I getting that confused?
Like 48 and short.
Yeah, it was long as shit.
47 something.
It was a lot of fucking Soul Planet for you.
But,
long as hell, Alana. Soul.
Yeah, everything's
Too
right
much?
coming out of the end of that, right? And then
Mango,
well,
I
the
love a
transition
Mango.
was pretty okay into Mango, right?
But it could have been longer again.
And
They
when
started
lyrics
to get into the
started, this
rift.
entire set
Uh-huh.
started falling apart.
They started
It
to get
was
into
like
the rift
the
though.
track-
Wow, you just went through like 4 songs, man.
Well, because we were stuck on you guys.
No,
You
we
guys
aren't.
started talking about talking to each other, and we just got away from the whole. I
No,
don't think there's
Let's
much
talk
to
about the
discuss
Everything's
about
Right
Everything's
jam.
Right. Why?
You don't want to talk about that because they had the MoMA Katie,
Yeah, they had the Black Eyed Katie jam in the Everything's Right.
and
I
that was
did
a really
not
cool
get
moment
that.
that people tune in to hear us talk about.
Where were you? Were you smoking a cone, taking a leak, something?
During Everything's Right? No.
Okay, can I say something that
Yes,
might
of
be
course,
a hot
jump in.
take? I'm not a big fan of Everything's Right. I think I've said it on Twitter before. I prefer Time Turns Elastic over Everything's Right. Okay? That,
All right.
Okay.
I think it's the same reason you guys hate Time Turns Elastic because I heard Everything's Right
I
so
love Time Turns
often.
Love it.
I
Yeah.
do.
I don't have time for it. I don't have time for Time Turns Elastic.
right. Keep going.
But they did do Black Eyed Katie. Come on.
I didn't hear that. I think I was too focused on the leaves beforehand.
There you go. You're still thinking about the leaves. And then
Yeah.
it meandered a little. And
Mhm.
Trey, they started into a little Mango song thing. And then again, Trey got over anxious, like with NICU, and was boom. All right,
He
we're
did.
doing Mango, you know?
Yeah, it
I
did.
always
It's-
I always thought that when they were playing Leaves, I was thinking they were jamming it because Everything's Right was. It felt like Everything's Right was in that jam, I think, at least to me. So I thought they wouldn't play Everything's Right after this. And then they did. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they probably heard whatever you heard, and it triggered it in their head, right? And then they went with it. I thought that transition into Mango was a little nerve wracking at first because I was like, this could be really ugly, but I think they pull it off. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those, like, it was like a little anxious because it didn't feel 100% solid, but I don't think
Right.
it fell apart. Like, I think it was a
Mhm.
pretty, actually, in the end, a
Yeah.
pretty sweet segue.
It was, but no jam.
Well,
out
it's
of it.
not about the no
Micro
jam.
jam.
It was the lyrics just
All right.
weren't there, and I don't know that it
I
just
have
hard.
Merriweather issues. That one year at Merriweather, they did that Dog Log Mango song, and they did like a 8-9 minute jam out of Mango song that was kind of spoiled me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to jam out everything.
Right.
Sometimes.
And then
they
we
do.
got Meep.
Meep is dope.
Meep is dope.
I
That was the
think
first time I heard that.
Trey kind of just botched the landing with it, or the end part of it there. But
I was happy to hear it.
it was a shorter version than I would have hoped for. But I don't know. It was all right. Again, I just think this is once Mango started, it was like the song choices got better, but the execution got worse.
Shorter. Right.
And it wasn't about being shorter. It's just the execution.
I like this chasing guy.
Oh, really? You think so?
The last
Alright.
4 songs, I think there's
You don't. I thought the Chalk Dust, they nailed it. I
What?
love that it was compact.
what? They nailed it. Did you hear the end of that song?
Yeah, they went back into the end. Like they've been doing it. It's a train
What?
wreck every time they've done it since
Oh,
Hershey's last year.
Yeah, well, this was a whole different level of what the fuck is happening right now. That happened.
I don't
after-
know what's happening there now. What are you talking about?
We're talking
Dude.
about Chalk Dust Torture Bee. He says it's a
Dude.
train wreck, and I said it's a streamliner.
Of course it
Yeah,
is. It's supposed to be, and then we come crashing to a landing of like not even the end of the song. Like it was so bad they just like laughed about it, and Trey just kept on And then he like hammered it out, and the song was over. Like it was all fucked up.
What the
All-
fuck happened?
I need to go back and listen to it so I can
It was
maybe see. I don't remember.
That's
I mean,
so
it is
funny.
what it is. You know, you tried, you fucked it up. It's like playing riffs all the time. Just stop. So you know, you had the whole ending to chalk us down. What happened? Where did it go? Tonight you decided you don't know how to play it anymore because the rest of the show was so good.
You're still hung up on Deer Creek Rift. I know because they've played it better since then, but they
Yes.
still have that.
And they're gonna play it better at Merriweather for you, Scott.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, but I agree, Scott. If they did nail it, I don't think he would have gone into Julius. I think Julius was well, we fucked this one
Yeah,
up.
Julius was weak.
let's close it out.
Dude. Good call.
Yeah.
Totally. We really fucked this up. Let's play Julius and
I mean, like, fucked it up. Like, it was still incredible, you know, on any other metric, right? Like, comparing to, like, most rock bands and shit. I feel like it wasn't, like, a complete train wreck. But I
No,
think
it was the end. It was
was a
coming
very
into the
well
end
played-
segment, which they didn't even do because it got fucked up.
I
That they
feel
had to
like
go into
you guys are like, oh, there wasn't like some 10, 15-minute jam session. You're discounting it. These
That's
songs
not
were
what's
done.
happening here. I'm talking
I'm with
about
I don't
Kev.
think that's what he said at all.
execution of the song. I don't give a shit if it's 5 or 6 minutes if you play it well. But you can't play it 5 or 6 minutes and fuck it all up. If you're gonna fuck it all up, jam it out for 20 minutes for fuck's sake and save it.
But Chalk Dust Torture was solid,
Exactly.
man. It was solid.
Yo,
Well-
I'm with Kev on this one.
Thank
As someone
you.
who listens, as someone who listens to studio quite often, everything that's not studio is always better, usually. So I'm gonna say Chalk Dust was solid. Also, he sang it. I think he sang it well, unlike some other times. But that's just me.
Yeah, his singing has gotten so much
Much
better
Mhm.
in the last like couple of years.
I
I don't know when I
can
know
say
it. Like
is
it's when they learned Bowie. When did they do the Bowie album?
85,
Bowie
90,
album?
2015.
No, I think it was
I
like
had to
18
add
or
up by
something.
5. It was 15. It was Halloween of 15.
Wow. I remember
Because
that.
he died that year. He died in February or whatever, January.
Yeah. Well, anyway, since then his vocals have gotten way better. We're on
It
a lot of
has.
tangents tonight.
It
But
is.
Julius was a cool way to close the set.
It was.
I
I
think so,
will do
yeah.
it. And then we got a hood,
Brings it
which
all
was it had a little extra
Hood.
mustard. I think Hood is another one of those songs for me that the bar was so long ago raised so high for it.
Mhm.
Even when they do a great version, it isn't a, it doesn't elicit the same response as say a Leaves being 17 minutes does.
I don't know if you're remembering what Julius sounded like 20 years ago, or if you're remembering how you felt listening to Julius 20 years ago. Because I don't think anyone, not just you, like anyone could be like, have that kind of mental recall to like remember things to that degree. But I have no doubt that your experience with the song has shifted and adjusted dramatically over the last 20 years. I don't know. It's
You mean
interesting.
you hate Julius?
No, I
Yeah,
do
that's what
not
he's
hate-
saying. He's
No, I don't hate Julius at all. I feel like they totally blew it at AC by not doing it with Caesars across the fucking street, across the boardwalk.
Do you feel slighted?
I do
I
feel
can get with
slighted.
that.
I
That makes
do.
sense.
But Hood, let's go with Hood.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Hood
I
was
don't
great.
like Hood for
Hanging
an
out with you,
encore.
Kev.
I don't like Hood for an encore.
Yeah. It
I
felt
wanted
out
to
of
close
place.
the set.
Was it because of the lyrics?
No, I just don't like it as an encore. I don't know. I wanted to close the set where it belongs. Hood belongs.
I
closing the
honestly would
set.
have switched the two.
There. That's a good answer.
What do you think,
Like-
Scott?
That's an interesting take that Anderson said, but because I could see that actually working better. But I don't know. I thought the Hood was okay. There was a again another just like about to crash moment coming back home out of almost Type 2 land in that Hood, and
When they went into the feel good part.
Yeah, it was before that part, and then they kind of brought it home nicely, but I don't know.
They went
The
such a
execution
weird direction.
in
I
the fourth
think.
quarter. Just I don't know. I really liked this show as a whole. Honestly, I thought
How many stars you give it?
the first 3 quarters were fantastic. Probably somewhere between 3 and 4.
3 and 4
3.5.
cones. That should be the bid.
Yes,
How many
it should be. How
cones?
many cones?
Probably
is
like
this
3
show
and a half for overall. I mean, you
3.5 cones.
kind of pooched the bringing it on home part, which is
We
You
need to make a
said that.
graphic for
You
that.
said that.
I agree. I love this show. Go on, Anderson. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. I called a few of the songs, so like I feel like it's way up there for me now. Other than going in thinking, oh no, this is gonna be a bad one. They start with 3 things I did not want to hear.
There you go. And there we are.
I am
Very
very high. Wait, I don't get to say I'm a guest.
No, you weren't a guest.
Feels like a guest. All right, you can
Fucking-
close it out. I'm
You're
sorry.
the
Garrett.
CEO. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with them. I think it was a great show, and I love that
too.
they took those songs type 2 that they don't usually take type 2. I think that's a great
Mhm.
sign, and I think the rest of this tour is very promising because they've been on a very good trajectory.
I'm
all
pulling stuff
summer.
off the board, and I'm loving pulling it off the board for this weekend. Some of these songs, I'm like, nice.
You
I won't
hate
be seeing that.
sleeves so much.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So then go, no, you know when that changed for me was seeding the bracket, and I realized when you're in like that 150 to 200 seeds, every one of those songs, I'm like, man, I'd love to fucking see this song in a show. Man, I'd love
Right.
to see this. And then you realize you're like in the 150th seed, and it's still a song. Like I guarantee you, they're gonna
I
play
wanna-
shit that you're gonna be happy to see.
I want a
Oh, no question
tweezer.
about it.
I want a tweezer, and I want a sloth.
And
at
Trey doesn't
Mary
give a
Mother.
shit what you want.
After that,
If you're
Tweezer
listening,
Fest,
guys,
though,
if you're out there. All right, so tomorrow night, Leslie Mack, Blackberry Pod, Stub Me Down,
Blackberry
Anderson
Jam.
Skinny coming on 5:55 before the show. After the show, we got Andy Michaels coming on and Pixel Walks. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock when you're on your lunch break, because if you're in the Midwest, it's at noon. Check out HF Pod. They have Matt Higgins coming on. They're going to do a different kind of recap than we do because they've had time to think about it.
Not
And
that
we love
different now.
everybody.
Your reads sound so professional, man.
We love everybody,
Close
and
the
we're
gap.
going to see you
I love
tomorrow
HF
night.
Pod. Anderson, thank you for stopping by. Wody, it's good
Yeah.
to see you again. We should do some more shows together.
Yeah, come on again.
Okay.